And good evening. Welcome to the Stock Farm Technical Complex, and we are back for more First Division action here on this very cool Tuesday evening. My name is Jordan Luke, and we will be having a matchup between Derby Boys and the Police Sports Club. The Police are very experienced participant in competition, and they are here this evening. Some of the members are just running a bit late, but they intend to give us a good show. The Derby Boys seems that they have made some new additions to their team, and hopefully they will be able to make an impact in the early stages of the match here. As you can see, the teams are just making the greeting, saying hello, going through the pleasantries as we get before we get going. And just in case you were wondering, the previous matchup between Fonkole and Marigot FC ended in a resounding blowout for Fonkole, winning the game 7-1, showing Marigot that they still have some way to go in terms of their growth and development as a team. But kudos to the Marigot team. They've been doing pretty well for themselves. It's a club that's been around for less than 5 years, and there were a lot of young players on the team, and it's good to see multi-sport players like Mervin Mingo, well, it's been volleyball, but different variations of volleyball. He's represented the country, won medals, and it's good to see that, to support his community team. It didn't work out the way they wanted, but may they keep continuous strength onto them. But we are here for a matchup between the Derby Boys and the Police Sports Club. Police seem to have found some missing members of their team. Seem to be starting the game with 10 players. Hopefully they will be able to give their opponents a run for their money. Derby Boys not really a team that makes the fan pages jump. Not really one of the more popular teams, as you would say, in terms of expectancy in the first division, but hopefully they look brave, they look sharp, and they look like they're going to come out here this evening and give us a good show. So yes, it does seem that the men in yellow and blue, the men in blue will be starting the game with 10 players. Let's hope they're able to. They're usually a very fit bunch, no matter what sport they play. For some reason, the police team usually tend to start the game with limited or less numbers, but they usually give a very good account of themselves in either regard. And we're just about ready to start. My prediction, I would have to say, probably 4-0 to Derby Boys, maybe 4-2. I think 4-2. 4-2 sounds more like what we can expect there. So seems that they'll be playing with a back four or three. Not so sure. Maybe two forwards, three in the midfield. Just trying to figure out how they're going to execute here. The boys seem to be setting up in a 4-3-3. Attack-minded kind of gameplay. An early rush there, easily getting by. Police, despite their numbers, errant pass. Ball cleared out there. The boys trying to get the ball forward quickly. Firm defense there. Playing that ball out, not really giving his opponent time and space on the ball. Ball played out there. Played through. But the keeper is there to collect. No danger, no harm, no foul. Keeper throws out quickly. Quick combination, and police are able to break. The ball played through. Almost getting through the line. Some good defense there. TV boys looking like they want to take their time with the ball. Not play the game too quickly. When they break in, they break in, but ball tried to be slid through there. However, tackle goes in. W Boys back in possession. Advantage called by the referee, indicating that there was an infraction on the play. Nice back heel there, and the shot comes in. Soft team and wide. However, there seemed to have been a deflection, and it's a corner kick, first one of the game, and that goes to Derby Boys. Derby Boys really have started with a clear intent to place their opponents under some pressure. This is their first real opportunity to create some threat here to their opponents. Ball comes in, headed out there. Derby Boys players seem to be trying to get an advantage on the back of the police, but the police was not having it, and eventually they are able to prod out the ball, go into the halfway line. However, Derby Boys are there with numbers to settle the attack. Captain on the ball, and players just getting back into shape, moving the ball around easily, taking their time. Poor pass there by the number 10, really took too many touches on the ball, took himself into a dark corner. Did a good job of staying with the play and keeping his opponents in that zone. High looping through. Firm challenge going in there. Ball given away there really unnecessarily, and the through ball played through by David, and the number 14 going all the way down to the line. They're really forced too wide by the pass. However, he's able to find a teammate who easily gets by his man. The ball comes in all the way on the back post, and the one-on-one with the keeper. Good job there. The ball played in, and he's told to get up, and the shot comes in again, and another good save. Then the clear of the line, and offside is the call. It's all going down. The police are keeping the gate locked, but the Derby Boys are trying to get through. Rumor has it that the police have imported a goalkeeper. Not sure if they use their connections. They do have a lot of connections all over the Caribbean. But very good job there by the young man, getting down and being firm hand there. At least you know the arm of the law is very strong. However, they're on the ball now, and long ball going forward. Bit of a tugging on the shots there, not seen. However, the police have recovered the ball, and they are now trying to play forward. Ball goes over the top. There's someone chasing it down. However, the pass goes back to the goalkeeper, and the keeper is taking a touch, giving himself some room, playing the ball to the available man. He did a good job there of eventually winning possession of the ball. However, he gave it away with an errant touch. Really fought hard, did all the hard work, got there, fought for the ball, brushed off his opponent, and then just gave the ball away. Rather disappointing in the end. Throw comes in, and the man gets away going down the line. A touch and gets around. Cross comes in, and the man controlled the ball instead of trying to put it on target. Very good cross there. And the man came in sitting on the back post. However, his touch just let him down. And the ball is laid off there. And Derby Boys are able to break forward. The forward player there just holding up the play, forcing the defense to head back and allowing his midfield to come into the play. Very nice hold-up play there. And the ball is sprayed high and wide. And it goes over the defender's head. Derby Boys on the attack. Ball comes in. And the striker is there again. He misses this time, but he scores in the end. However, he was standing in an offside position, and that will not count. Derby Boys really knocking on the door, but they seem to be knocking with fragile hands. The police seem to have their numbers covered. The evidence docket say that they shall not be allowed through. Can they make something happen? A bit of an interaction there. However, the ball is allowed to be played and the police are moving forward. Through pass going forward, then the ball is taken down on the chest. Can he keep it away from the defender? And a beautiful piece of defensive work there, getting away. However, the ball is partially cleared and the police are able to hunt the ball down. Derby Boys eventually getting the ball there. David laying it off to his teammate. Kyle on the ball. Can he find the cross? Will he lay it off? The ball comes across. And the young man seems to be struggling there. However, he is able to keep it in play. Can he create? He finds the teammate there, number 9. Really been a lively character in the game so far, Derrickson McDonald. Can he take the shot? He lines it up. And the keeper says, thank you very much. Catch in practice. And Derby Boys have recorded a shot on target. Another shot on target. They've really been piling on the pressure. But the police have seemed to have it all on the wraps. And as they build up here, nice patient play, taking their time. Game has had a nice pace so far. The police have really not been intimidated or nervous by their lack of numbers. Beautiful back heel there, playing a man into open space. Can he play another cross? But the ball is blocked this time, learning from the lessons of the last cross, not allowing that cross to be played in. And a very good job defensively there. Ball played quickly. McDonald turns on the ball in the midfield and finds David. David is able to turn as well, put his head up, look around, and lay the ball off easily to the man on the wide side. Derby Boys really playing a very controlled game, not really forcing any of their passes. Sometimes a player may choose to take on an unnecessary one-on-one, but for the most part, Derby Boys have done a good job of just playing the game nice and easy, playing it into space and really forcing their opponents. But the police are playing a very high line here. Very compact game, but the man still on the back. He has a chance, and he can't take the shot there. I guess he wanted it to be perfect, and the police said, no way. And a substitution being made. Well, actually, not a substitution, but an addition. Another member of the police force coming on, and now the police are up to a full contingent of 11 players. Will that make a difference in the game here? They really have been doing well with 10. I must say, they have kept their wits about them. They have created a few chances. However, the game will now start belatedly 11 versus 11. So let's see if the police can really make this newfound balance count for them here. And ideally, number 11 is the 11th player. Will that bring some luck? Will that bring some fortune? Or will Derby Boys finally score from one of the opportunities here? He will have to come in and help his team defend this corner situation. And at least on this occasion, they may have an outlet if the ball were to break. Cross comes in here, very quick cross. And there's a header. Oh, very good defensive header there. The ball is blocked. And can that man advantage or man addition? No, the ball is stolen on the top of the box. The police again. Ball being kept here. Derby Boys doing a good job here of really keeping the game flowing. However, they just seem to be getting a bit nervous. Police may be a bit emboldened, and a great pass there going down the line. And the police are able to break. And the ball stopped there on the top of the box. Lunging tackle there. Able to block the ball away. And a dummy left to the striker, left the man all in a heap. Oh, and the pass just a bit behind the man there. It was a lovely run he was making. And the striker just seems to be having a bit of a tentative start to the game here. Not really there as you would say. He's had a few one-on-one chances and it just hasn't worked. And the police seem to be getting the best of Derby Boys, but now the ball has been stopped there and played forward. Ball down the line. The defense is there, making the first stop, but he left it for the attacker. And the police are now in the box. Rear touches in the opponent's box for the police, and the ball comes across. And the right back playing, left centre back plays the ball all the way into our neighbor's yard here at Stock Farm, and we have to break. Just a bit of a time to take a breath, as you would say. It's been a very fast-paced game. Definitely not what you would have been expecting. Derby Boys and the Police, not two teams that have the best of records, as you would say. However, they both seem intent to be putting on a show here this evening. The Police started the game down a man. However, Derby Boys have had a few one-on-one chances. They've created some very good opportunities for themselves, it must be said. The Police, however, have done the same. They have created one or two opportunities, not been able to take, and they have a corner here. Good defensive header there by the Derby Boys. Good pressure being played on the man with the ball. Pressure continues. Good job there by the Derby Boys attacker, really putting that pressure on the team. And the Aaron kick there, and a good job there. His hard work rewarded. Now he's on the ball. Can he keep it in play? Find a man. He does. McDonald is on the ball. Chips up. Then tries to place it in, and it's a goal! And Derby Boys have scored the first one. Derby Boys are up 1-0 here. Derrickson McDonald playing that ball neatly in to the top corner. Derrickson McDonald confirmed as the goal scorer of the first goal. Very good job by the young man. And a good job there also by Aiden Durant. It must be said that if McDonald gets kudos for the goal, Durant must get double kudos for the assist. He really worked hard from time the ball came out from the corner and chased it all the way back down to his opponent's end and really put them under pressure, forcing the error and getting his team into a good position for the goal. Derby Boys, again, seem to be a really relentless defensive team, not giving up on any of the plays thus far, and that's good. May it continue for them. Cross comes in there, however, easily cleared out. Ball with McDonald again, however, the stop. The double stop there, unable to get the ball away, McDonald, and swinging twice and giving away the needless foul there. Really an error of his own making. Free kick on the edge of the box here. Derby Boys, the Police, have an early chance to equalize, do not stay down too long. Can they create something here for themselves? The referee has given the green light and the shot comes in. Just over the top of the crossbar. Decent attempt, nothing really to worry about for the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper seemed to have it covered. And the goal kick is taken quickly. Ball played into the midfield. And an errant pass there. Kian Matthew giving away the ball there. Ball played out there by the defender. And Matthew and Don McDonald get clear the ball. And the ball has come to Cadell David. David taking down his defender. Driving on with the ball, allowed to go a long way here. Stops and turns and gets by his defender again. The ball laid on there, however, partially cleared. Durant stops it. Oh, that would have been a lovely bit of play there. The players really trying to bamboozle the Police there with their efforts. These guys seem to need some high-level detective service. Maybe we need to call the FBI for the Derby Boys here. The Police may not be enough to protect their goal and protect their goal difference. If the game has to continue, the Derby Boys definitely seem to have goals on their mind. and the police have to be on high alert. Matthew winning back possession there. Easy pass into the midfield. Heavy touch and a bit of beneficial. And the shot comes in, however, off target. Definitely thought that the net, Kyle Toussaint, definitely thought Kyle would have had the net bulging there. Jed Bonny stolen, got into position, thought he had gotten himself a goal. However, the keeper came out, tackled him out, but Kyle was in a very good position to say, stealing in on the ball, taking a shot early. However, not putting it on target. And the ball goes out of play. The police just seem to be rattled there. I'm not sure if getting a full complement has helped or hurt them. They seem to be slacking off, so to speak. The Boyz have really been able to get themselves into the ascendancy, especially since scoring the goal. Maybe the goal has hurt the spirits of the police team. Bonny on the ball here, laying it back off to his centre back. Sherman Dover playing the ball across the field, and the Boyz are able to drive into the opponent's half. Cuddle with the back heel, trying to find Matthew, controlled neatly by the officer on the far side, and the 1-2 onside is the call. He's running onto it, and he takes a shot, and he hits the bar! And the defensive header there takes it away. Oh my gosh, the police almost got themselves in an opportunity there to tie up the lead. Dura finding Matthew with a heavy touch, and the ball goes out of bounds. The police really not giving up on the game here. Very good shot there. Very effective attack there made by the police sports club. Ball sent down the line. However, Bonny is there and decides to give it to the number 7 for the police. Crosses the ball in, and the Derby Boyz are able to collect and come forward. Matthew on the ball. Tries to find Del Sol. The ball actually gets over. Del Sol running onto the ball. Shot blocked. Is on target. However, the goalkeeper is easily able to make the save. Del Sol doing a good job there of Andy St. Rose on the ball. Player seems to leave the ball there. That was a very good play there by St. Rose. However, the ball is laid on, and Gary Abraham definitely seems to be sleeping, as his teammates have told him. He needs to shake up himself a bit. Ball kicked out of bounds there. Constable Hunter getting that ball there, thrown in, brought down. And McDonald giving away another foul in the midfielder, being won by the referee. He's giving away a few of these dangerous free kicks here, and he just needs to be careful that he does not get himself into any unnecessary trouble. He has scored the goal and does seem to be a key figure for his team. Definitely needs to keep himself on the field. Cross comes in there. Man on the back post, and he missed it completely there. I think if he had gotten a touch, that ball would have definitely found the back of the net. No one on him, wide open, and he just let that one free. I'm not sure Byron Dover would have been able to say too much about that ball there if he had gotten a touch on it. However, Let's see. The game continues. Durant unable to keep that in play. Tusa losing out to Senrose. And Senrose making the pass. But and allowing Tusa and Durant steal the ball away. And they get it into the middle. Durant being flustered under the pressure. Juwan David now on the ball. Seems to be a tricky character, Juwan. Like Akeem Olajuwon finding Matthew. Matthew finding Tusa. Tusa laying the ball off. And there are 2 men in. And the shot comes in. But it goes over. Very good build-up play there. The finish left a little bit wanting. However, the Derby boys really showing that the police really may need to call for some backup. RSS, maybe. The Coast Guard base does have some space. And they may need some backup if they are to really keep the score line down here. Matthew miscontrolling there, losing an opportunity to really put the police under added pressure. And the police do not give up and they break away. And the ball comes across here. And the man miscontrols the ball there. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Ojara Davis, the one caught guilty there of not being awake at the time of being necessary. And the ball, the smart play made there, just clearing the ball out. I'm not sure what happened to our friend Ojara Jarvis. He got himself into a good position there. If he had just gotten a touch, kept it in front of him, taken a shot, definitely could have gotten himself into a good position here. However, definitely let himself down. Tell me, boys, how quick the opportunists are now on the throwing deep in the police half. Cross comes in by Bonnie. McDonald stealing in. And the shot by McDonald. Definitely McDonald trying to roll back the days of old with that quick combination there. Maybe he would tell you in his days of high school, maybe when he was 16 or 17, 18, 19, he would have slotted that in the top corner, no problem. Left the goalkeeper wanting. And the ball coming in through ball there. And Cradle David in a good position to find Kian Matthew. Matthew to Juwan David. Crowded out there by the police defense. However, he has not given up and he's able to break away. And he slays the ball off to Del Sol. Del Sol sorting out his feet and only finding the keeper. Del Sol has, Toussaint has really been the recipient of some very good service. Toussaint, oh my God, Kyle, you have really been on the receiving end of some lovely bit of gems. And there's another one. Turns on his man. Takes too long with the shot again. Another opportunity missed by Del Sol. I keep Toussaint. I'll just say Kyle. And here you have Jarvis. Ball taken by Bonnie there. Finding Toussaint. Toussaint again a bit too long on the ball. McDonald finding Matthew. Matthew able to push forward. The boys have really had a good game so far, I must say. They've played a really good game. They have been able to really impose themselves on their opponents. They've created a number of chances. Their strikers really let them down. A bit of a hard challenge, a firm challenge. Cradle David, getting himself crossed up. However, playing the ball out. Quick throw-in coming in there. Juwan David doing a good job there of coming back, playing the ball forward. However, the police still have a throw-in. Cross comes in there. Jarvis under the ball. And a good layoff pass played there. Durant putting the ball under a lot of pressure. Oh, almost able there. Durant coming back and win the ball. And getting away. Aiden Durant, they're really working hard. Having a very good showing here in the first half. Aiden Durant, after in a similar way to how the first goal had been scored. He really fought his way through the police defenses, chased them down, harried them, and just kept fighting for the ball. Really is one of the standout performers here for the Derby Boys this evening. Seems to be throw away, fall through. Bonnie giving all that hard work away with an errant throw. Bonnie Jarvis giving away the ball again. And Bonnie able to get through the man. And the goalkeeper is coming out. And the goalkeeper again making a very good save there. Keeping his team in the game. Tuse trying to do some defensive work. However, Dura doing his regular work has found Bonnie again. Bonnie crosses it in trying to find David. However, the ball goes just over the end and over the goal line. Goal kick for the Derby Boys. Goalkeeper Darren Mills really making another good save there. He had to make a few others earlier in the game, but that one definitely was. And McDonald stealing on the ball there, laying the ball back to Bonnie. Derby Boys seem to be smelling blood. Matthew wide open in the middle, and Matthew's touch letting him down terribly there. And Derby Boys unable to claim a ball that they seem to clearly have under their possession. Ball headed on there. Ojara finds help there. 1-2 play there, however, ball given away. Ball finds Tuse. Very good control there. Tuse turning away from his man and unable to make the forward pass there. Tuse really letting himself down, allowing the police to break. And Jarvis really not able to make that run. And a man goes down there, keeper clearing the ball out. And the medic will be called on for Derby Boys. Derrickson McDonald with the lone goal here this evening. Very well taken goal, but it must be said again, Aiden Dura with some excellent bits of defensive work, really applying a lot of pressure to the ball from a corner kick, pressing the police defensive player all the way back to his own half until a missed kick was made by the goalkeeper Mills, and the ball was recovered by Dura and laid off to McDonald, and McDonald put a beautiful finish into the top corner. It's been a game of chances. Derby Boys are leading 1-0, but I hope they don't come to regret the number of chances that their striker Kyle Tuse has allowed to get past him. He has had a number of opportunities there and has had many one-on-ones. I think I heard someone in the stand said he killed their dreams here this evening. He's really set a fire to the excitement. Derby Boys have really been able to create some very golden opportunities. However, Mr. Tuse has not really been able to make the most of it. Throw in there, give him back to Derby Boys as the ball was played out so the player could receive treatment. David stepping out into the midfield, laying the ball over his opponents. Matthew on the ball, finding Tuse. Tuse seemed to have let that ball pass. Tuse really seems to be letting himself down there. He has really missed a number of chances in the first half. I'm not really sure if he will play more than 45 minutes, because it's really been hard for him there this evening. He has had a number of opportunities, but he just seems to be lost in the game. Very good block there made by David, however, it's not completed, and he comes back, and his centre-back partner is able to partially clear it out. Ball goes into the middle, and Matthew is able to use McDonald, and with David, they are able to get into the opponent half. Ball goes reverse pass to Tuse. Tuse lets the ball roll, And the ball goes out for a throw-in. David sees the pass, steps out for his team. Matthew able to escape. Ball partially cleared. David doing a good job of coming back and eventually winning the throw in the foul. Free kick taken quickly. McDonald on the ball. Brings that man on the far side into play. Matthew there seems to think he could have won a foul. However, and a great football played there, and it's 1-on-1 again. Offside is the call made there. Seems to be a late flag. Seems to be a very late flag there from the linesman. However, offside is the call. That was a very good play there by the police. Definitely seemed to catch the Derby boys out. Good job there by Tusa, showing the earlier form he had in the game. He really started off well, but then I think after missing so many chances, it really got to his head. The referee tried to see if the advantage could be played, however, none surmounted, and the free kick was given. The police took it quickly, and Derby boys are able to break. And the game seems to have broken down. David is back there, the goalkeeper is back there, and everything is safe again in the world for the Derby boys. McDonald on the ball, driving forward. The ball rolls to David. David is able to attack, gets around one man, keeps it away from two. Yeah, pushing the bag, the man goes down. And no foul is given there. Definitely seemed like it could have been a clear contender for a clear push in the back. But the referee may have seen shoulder to shoulder, and the play is allowed to continue. Long ball going in there. Man coming around the corner, and he is able to pick up that ball, making some good off the ball runs here. The striker not really able to finish. However, the Derby boys get themselves sorted out, and they are now trying to get away from their penalty area. The ball going up to Tusa. Sandros has him under his observation. However, Bonnie is able to find Tusa again. Tusa gives up on that pass there. Bonnie plays it to Tusa again. Tusa unable to keep it away from the defender. Tusa making a very rough challenge there. And definitely seems to be a foul there. Rash challenge there. Reckless play. And the card given there to Kyle Tusa. Tusa getting a yellow card for his troubles. Probably definitely not the goal he would have hoped for. He has really worked hard and has and he has not been able to get just reward. Cross coming in there and dropped by the goalkeeper. However, dropped behind the goal line, and it will be a corner kick. Signs of worry for the Derby boys. The goalkeeper not seeming too confident there, ball slipping through his hands like a slippery banana. However, only he was very much lucky he was not in line with the goal. Definitely would have slipped over the goal line and equalized there for the police. However, they have only gotten a corner, looking to deliver something sharp, something tight, high, out to the penalty spot. Tusa heads it back into his box, but headed away by Dover. Ball comes in there by the police. There seems to be a man on the far side, however, definitely too far away. The officers have really had a good comeback here. They really kept themselves in the game. Maybe disappointed to have gone down 1-0 from a play where they really were not in any real pressure. Again, just a very hard-working play from Aiden Dura, forcing the issue and forcing an errant pass and eventually laying off the ball very neatly to Derrickson McDonald, who had no choice but to finish a plumb after all that hard work by his teammate. So the 1-0 to Derby boys, they've definitely been the team on top, but the police have been giving them something to worry about. David on the ball, and the ball goes all the way across to Dura. Beautiful pass there. Dura taking a touch, cutting inside, sighting himself up and takes the shot. Not very firm, but I think after the amount of work he has done for the team, you can't fault him for taking a touch. The goalkeeper making an error there, only finding Bonnie. Dura seemed to be a bit on his heels there, and maybe the missed shot. Ball comes into the back post. Bonnie's in a good position, and McDonald there to sweep up. Bonnie again making the unnecessary touch of running away with the ball. Could have just, I think the definitely seems to be a bit of a confusion there. However, Derby boys able to get forward to say, trying to fumble his way into the box. And the goalkeeper not realizing the last touch was of the police, and it's a corner to Derby boys. Derby boys, the game kind of breaking away. Derby boys not as decisive, as dynamic as they were a few minutes ago. They were moving the ball around a little more. However, they seem to have just dropped off a bit. And another corner to Derby boys. Ball comes in. Matthew there winning the header. However, very poor direction on that header, and it rolls over the goal line. And it will be another goal kick here to the police too as we wind down the first half. Ball on the far side. Durant again with another effort play, winning back possession for his team here. However, no support really, and he was unable to keep the ball, but a very good job there by Durant again, He has really done that a few times for his team, and again, winning possession. David dropping into midfield and playing a lovely pass out wide here, trying to find his teammate on the far side. However, the ball just a bit too long, a bit too strong for him, and the police will be able to start again. Ball not beating the first man there. Good job there by the wide man coming inside, supporting Matthew. Matthew laying it back to him, but just a bit behind him there. And again, goal kick is the result of that attack for the Derby Boys. Walter Greenaway, the man on the far side, just getting his bearings confused there. Two passes in his direction, two passes just a bit out of his awareness. Ball either rolling a bit too fast ahead of him. And with that, we have the end to the first half. And the score is 1-0 to the Derby Boys. We'll take a 15-minute break and we'll be back. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Not all the way, but just about ready to start here. The officials are out in the middle. It just seems to be maybe some last minute work, substitutions. Two substitutions coming in here for the police team. Definitely seem to have some players on the field earlier who may not have started if everyone was present when the game was about to begin. But they came in and did a good job, and they really kept the team in a good place. I must say they only down by one, and despite the numerous chances that the Derby boys were able to create for the striker Kyle so they are only up one goal from one really good piece of work done there by Aiden Durant in the first half, laying the ball off to Derrickson McDonald, who expertly slotted the ball into the top corner. And we just seem to have a bit of a hold up here with the halftime substitution. And player just having to make some final adjustments. Seems to have come in late himself. And assistant Suarez not dropping the standard, letting him know that he has to be quite fully prepared before he is allowed to come onto the field. So once again, the police start the half with 10 men. McDonald on the ball, laying the ball off to the far side. Ball moving around nicely here. Patience shown by Derby boys. Curdell David on the ball. Just a bit of mix-ups on the team sheets. The ball off the head of Jarvis. However, Walter able to keep that ball down and lays it off to his partner. Matthew found there in the middle. Laying it back to Walter. And the attempted through ball there, unable to get past the police defender. And the ball cleared out there by Juwan David, the act number 17, playing that ball out, taking a no-nonsense approach and just clearing that out so his team can reset and get themselves into a good defensive position. And with that, the man is now on the field and the throwing comes in. And the police muscle their way to a corner kick. The first of the second half. They didn't have that many in the first half as well. Taken quickly. Ball comes in. Headed backwards by Del Sol there. However, his team is able to get away. And they're on the break. However, that pass easily cut out there by the police defender. Not a pass that lacked any real direction or purpose. Easily cut out there by the police force. Throwing going into Matthew. Matthew able to turn. And the foul given. I guess the referee did not expect Matthew to keep possession of the ball there. And it seems that the foul has actually gone to against the boys. Okay, I definitely see what the confusion was about. However, the ball is now with the police and they are able to restart the game here. Trying to build up slowly and they're able to get away. And the ball tries to go into the middle, back to him, lays the ball off. The 1-2. He's in on goal and he chips it on. No, just wide there. Chipped over the goalkeeper's outstretched hand, but just wide there. Definitely, that would have been a Sports Center finish. ESPN FC. Call me Shaka. Oh, yes, that would have been a top 10 goal for sure. Beautiful piece of build-up play, however, the ball had not gone into the back of the net. And Durant still having a good game, trying to get away from one, get away from two. And the foul eventually given there to Durant. Durant having a very good game, I must say. A game of hard work and grit. He has not given up. He's forced the issue here and been the main reason his team are up one so far. Ball coming over the top, and the police are there to clear. Cross coming in, played over the top. Seemed to be a tangle of legs, a trip. And the ball is cleared out there by the goalkeeper. The police back in possession. The Boyz a bit slack with their touch there. David, Matthew, McDonald, David, by committee, Durant. They're getting the ball away here for the Boyz. Durant back on the ball, kicks it to David while he's on the ground. Good play there by the young man. Ball goes forward to Toussaint. Toussaint tries to get around the man, but Toussaint gives away the foul. Toussaint again being the downfall of the Boyz attack. Toussaint definitely needs to get himself into the game. He's been in some good positions. However, he has really given the ball away many times and not taking the opportunities his team has been able to create for him. Bonnie playing the ball out on the far side there. Bonnie, another very prominent character for the Boyz in that first half. The police seem to be pulling the ball out from the air there. And it is with McDonald in the midfield. McDonald gets around the man, lays off for Toussaint. Toussaint pushes the ball forward. And David is making that run forward. David gets onto the ball and he goes down into the box. And the referee has blown. And a card given there to David. It would seem for simulation. Definitely not often that you see a referee give the card for simulation. But I guess he felt that the attempt to win the penalty was so blatant that the touch was no, he thought you could fool him, but definitely not. And the free kick to the police force, and the Boyz are unable to add to their scoreline. McDonald trying to find Matthew. Matthew getting around, getting away from St. Rose, but St. Rose called for the foul there. McDonald standing over this free kick. Will he be able to create something for his team? The chip. But McDonald wins back possession, takes the shot, and it's... Oh my words! The keeper had to use the crossbar to keep that one out. The crossbar had to come to his rescue. Seemed a bit of forcefulness there by the Boyz attacker. But the ball going all the way back with David, and the keeper Dover is able to collect. Very tame kick there by Dover, but he finds Matthew. Matthew in possession, turns in the midfield, tries to go forward, lays the ball off Del Sol, finding McDonald. Definitely seems some assistance there, keeping that ball down. However, the through ball goes to between Matthew and Toussaint. None of them really seem to be aware who was the recipient of that pass. Toussaint Some good defensive work, however. The police, Toussaint again coming back to win the ball. Good job there by Toussaint. Maybe if he can get it in the goal, he'll win it back for his team. However, Dover finding David in the midfield. David taking his time, playing the ball forward. Durant on the ball. Can he create another assist for his team? Gets around one man. Lays the ball off for Toussaint. Toussaint striking his teammate Dover all the way forward. Tries to play the back heel, however, Derby Boys are now under siege. David, however, is there. Can he clear the ball out? He gets there first. Goes over. And the foul is given to Derby Boys. Juwan David doing a good job there of closing on the man and eventually winning the foul. David to David. Curdell now on the ball. Gliding from midfield and making the open pass, making the pass to Jura. Jura with a uncharacteristic error for him for the game. He was wide open, acres of space, and I think he was just thinking about which way he was going to play that ball in. Definitely seemed to be a throw from a rainbow there. A lot of holding on Matthew, but Matthew gets away, driving into the box. Take the shot, and it's almost out of the park. High, mighty shot there from Ryan Matthew. Kean Matthew, sorry. His brother Ryan plays for Milan, but Kean Matthew is the one in the game here. Kean playing that ball just a bit high. Did very well to get himself in that position. It must be said, really forced his way past the police defenders. However, his team is still on the ball and they are trying to create another opportunity. The ball comes to Matthew. Matthew tried to lay it back to the man. Very crazy challenge there. High challenge there, sending Matthew tumbling to the ground.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go.
And Matthew is up. Not sure if a yellow card was given there, so the referee taking some notes, so I'm assuming one was given there. And I definitely think that challenge would have warranted a yellow card.
Come there, let me spray you. Come here.
And it seems that a substitution is being made. Not sure who's going to be coming off here. Seems to be a number of Derby Boys players coming onto the field. Kyle Toussaint. Kyle Toussaint had a number of chances here to affect the game, however, he was not successful. And Preston will have an opportunity to do so. We also see Walter Greenaway coming off and Aiden Durant coming off as well. So Aiden coming off. And number 13 going on, Jeremiah Henry. And Greenaway coming off. And Malvin Bertrand coming on. So 3 substitutions made there. Definitely disappointed to see Aiden Dura not get a little bit longer, but he really had run a really good 15 minutes and is definitely the reason for his team being up. McDonald, tantalizing free kick there, however, unable to really get that on target. And it's been a nice, easy game here at the Stock Farm Technical Complex. My name is Jordan Luke, been keeping you company. You've been keeping me company. And the police are on the break. They're trying to keep the goal company now. However, the W boys back there, and they seem to have gotten it on the wraps. However, has it gone on? No, the ball is kept in play. And Bonnie taking his time, finding David. David with a poor touch, and David allowing the police to create an opportunity there. They lay off, and the ball eventually comes to a police player who crosses it in, and David is there. David again definitely seemed to have touched his hand. No call there, and the game is allowed to play. Definitely seemed to be a little more on that there. And there you have Derby boys breaking away on the ball. The substitute player really making an impact early in the game. And the tackle going in there. And the goalkeeper able to collect, and the game restarts. Referee just getting the players to settle down. I think the player definitely may have had a shot. The tackle seemed to come from behind. However, I have the advantage of seeing the game as you are seeing the game, so it may not be so fair to be too judgmental. Running at high pace is never easy to make such split-second calls, but the player definitely was playing the ball. So and the throw there to police. And the throw-in comes in there. And the ball is out of play. I haven't really seen a clear signal as to who the ball belongs to, and it now goes to the police. Foul throw. And Derby boys will have an opportunity for a relatively deep throw there. David playing a deep ball in there, trying to find Jeremiah. St. Rose able to lay the ball off to his teammate. Has a lot of time and lays a very good ball there onto the side, but Joan David is there, not really allowing him any time, and he has to turn back away from the goal, trying to find support. Jeremiah there to block him off, and eventually the throw ball goes off the police. Good job there by the substitute player, getting himself into a good position to keep this lead for his team. And we seem to have a bit of another stop and play. And this Enro seems to have found himself in a compromised position. The medics being signaled on. I said earlier. Will be the recipient of some care here in not coming together with David. Crunching collision there. Senro seemed to come off worse for wear. Header taking a bit too long there, and the police defender was able to come across and cover. Long throw, looking for McDonald in the box. McDonald with the overhead kick. Definitely seemed a bit risky. 2-foot challenge thrown there by Matthew. Kian Matthew getting himself into the book for a very needless challenge. Very needless challenge here on the near side. there was no need to lunge so recklessly at his opponent.
Let's go, man.
Throw in, David able to settle possession. And the back pass, not a very good one, puts his teammate under a lot of pressure and has the ball stolen off him. And the pass forward, and the man had gone into pastures anew. And the ball given away there. The goalkeeper able to clear. Clearance comes out. And there is no one there. Throw in for Derby Boys. And now the goal scorer, McDonald, coming off the field. And number 29 coming on in his place. Number 29 is Kern Tusa. So Kern Tusa coming in. Jeremiah there a bit too eager. Henry a bit too eager to take the throw in. Trying to take it before the assistant had gotten back into position there. Not sure if that is a ploy. But it seems to be a bit of a dirty tactic if you ask me. A lot of pressure on the ball there. The substitutes combining. And a trip in the end there. And possession given back. I really find it strange when the players do these type of tackles and then they're surprised that it's a foul. It very much looks like a foul from every angle that you slice it. So good call there by the referee. I think he made a good decision. The free kick is taken quickly. However, the ball is lost there. Very good job by the substitute again. Tuse on the ball. And man shifting wide. Ball comes in from Henry. And an own goal there from the police. Ball coming in there. Sliding under the ball was Kian Matthew. And unaware was the police defender on the far side there. Playing that ball into the back of his net. It's an own goal for the police. So the score is now 2-0 to Derby Boys. Derby Boys very fortunate there. They hadn't wasted a number of opportunities. However, the police made sure they did not waste at least one more. To say getting around 3 defenders and getting all the way to the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper not allowing him to get by. Making another good save there. Mills definitely made more saves than he has let goals get in. And the ball rolls all the way back to David. And now Derby Boys are really trying to put some pressure at the end here. Again, Tuse blocked out and not allowed to take a shot there. Fall on the far side. Ball given away there. Well, A soft pass there, played back to the defender, putting Dover under all types of problems. However, Dover gets the ball away, and Henry is able to find the man on the white side, and Tilly Boy is able to come forward. The cross goes in, and he's coming, stealing in, and Toussaint unable to find his way, but Henry is still there. Henry lays off the shot, just a bit behind his teammate there, and his teammate crashes into the opponent, and the foul actually goes against the Boys. Header made there by the defender, Dover, and David able to lay the ball off to his midfield partner. Pass going into Toussaint there. Toussaint taking his time and lays the ball off to Henry. Henry behind his man, and the opportunity is gone again. Long ball over. Offside, the call. Flag going up. Referee not seeing his linesman. Had not been making his way down the line with him, however. It was an early call by the linesman, and a very obvious call as well. Ball goes out. And that seemed to be quite... I don't know what to name it. You see, I think it was an anomaly. But the police now have the throw. Seemed to line up to hit it to Maz, but decided to play to the moon instead. And the touch takes the ball out. Throw in taken quickly, and the ball is given away. Matthew trying to keep it. However, eventually it goes out of bounds to the Derby Boys. Entering the 71st minute here, we have another break-in play for an injury. Derby Boys just seem to be trying to wind the game down and get themselves over the line for a victory here. I would say a well-deserved victory. I think that they definitely did a very good job of getting themselves that early lead. I think an early shout, an uncommon shout for man of the match, I would say, has to be Aiden Jura for that excellent piece of defensive work that he did to create that one opening for the Derby Boys to really give them that clear-cut opportunity to take the lead. Really an opportunity from nothing, stealing in and forcing the defense into an error, which allowed him to win the ball back and lay off a pass for Derrickson McDonald, which he fitted into the top corner. We later had a cross coming in from Jeremiah Henry, substitute player, and an own goal by the police defender. Ball pushed forward there by St. Rose, however. Very good defending there by Colonel David. David trying to find a man, roaming the midfield area, pushing the ball forward. Jeremiah Henry under that ball, but the defender there in a good position. David doing a good job recovering for his team, and the Boys are able to settle themselves on the ball. Dummy with the firm challenge there, and the ball given away. Police almost able to escape, but Dover able to support his midfield partner. Said Rose doing a good job in the midfield there for the Police and lays the ball off after his man had done a good job of keeping himself on side. Ball laid off one more time and giving away there too much time on the ball. And the ball played forward. Kerwan Tussell able to push the ball forward for his man, push him down the line. However, the brief stop is in play is the determining factor of him not being able to get in position. Sad to say. And that ball goes out of bounds. Matthew picks out that pass, heads on to his teammate. The ball comes across for Toussaint. Toussaint unable to get there before the goalkeeper Mills. Again, Mills has definitely made more saves than goals allowed, but it's just been not enough here as the Derby Boys have scored two very good goals. Well, one very good goal, and I think the cross was too tempting not to resist, and the second goal was just a result of the pressure they had applied. Ball in the midfield. Derby Boys just trying to close out the game competently here. Henry trying to find his teammate and chips the ball over to Murphy this time. Murphy with the touch, trying to lay it over to Toussaint. And the corner won there by Toussaint, not giving up on the play and forcing the defender into an error. 75th minute of play. Can Derby Boys add to the lead? Add to this already convincing 2-0 victory. They have definitely been the better team here this evening. Can they close it out? Cross comes in. And Bonnie unable to prod that one in. David doing a good job of winning the ball and turning on his man, driving forward, finding Matthew. Ball played forward to David. And a challenge made there. And a fall. The player said he seems to have slipped. Shoe came off. Player just, but the referee had definitely called a foul there. No cards issued there. Might have been a tricky situation for David. Already on a yellow. Given one earlier in the half for simulation. But he's getting the ball forward there. Across the field. However, the ball is cleared there. However, only over the goal line, not over the touchline. So corner kick will be the result. Quick throw in taken there. Man getting to the line and cleared by committee. However, the shot comes in all the way wide. No real danger for the goalkeeper. It's been a good game so far. A bit of chances died down in the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. The substitutions have not, I don't think the substitutions have been able to maintain the intensity of the game. However, especially for the Derby Boys, not really sure. Yellow card. Definitely a dangerous play there. Medics come called in. Game restarted there. Police able to control. Dewey Boyz in possession, playing the ball forward, losing possession in the attacking area. Police trying to get themselves in an attacking area. Officers really doing their best of trying to keep themselves in the game. St. Rose has really done a good job in the midfield of spraying the ball around, but they almost got the ball back there. And Dover blocked that ball there. Right place at the right time. Toussaint unable to get there. Kern Toussaint forcing the ball to go out. And you have a substitution being signaled for on the far side. And number 19 coming in. And Kian Mafia is the one who is coming off. Kian has had a very good game, covered a lot of ground for his team, and a well-deserved break seems to be coming his way. Ace Newton, the player. Ace Newton coming in. Kian Mafia, the player, being substituted. Kian coming off to an applause from the crowd and his team. Really had a hard game. Played a very brave game for his team, covered a lot of yards, did a lot of the dirty work, and definitely was one of the unsung heroes for this Derby Boys team here this evening. Ace Newton getting himself in with the header right away. Outlet to Dover, who has to use Bonnie as an aid, and the ball comes back in, but Bonnie is there. The keeper, not really sure if he really wanted to go and get that ball, but does a good job. He had a lot of support around him, and they are getting the ball out. David playing the ball out wide. The ball going over the top, trying to find Henry. However, the defender was able to stop that ball. The police doing a good job of keeping the ball in the danger zone, but Derby Boys eventually getting the ball away. Ball given away there by Ace Newton. Tackle made there by Bonnie. And the ball eventually going off the thigh of a police player. And the ball is with the Derby Boys. Good job there by the player of not giving up on that play. Ball crossed in. However, didn't get past the first man. And the ball is with St. Rose in the midfield. They really haven't been afraid to use him. And that shot there, very tame. Blocked though for a corner. In a game of a lot of chances, it must be said that the performance of a one Aiden Duran, number 10 for Derby Boys, cannot go uncounted. Made a lot of very determined runs there and eventually won the ball back in the high area, and is definitely the reason for his team having such a comfortable evening. He may not have been one of the more dazzling performers, but his hard work and grit definitely are the reasons, part of the reasons why his team is in the lead. And it's not just Aiden, but a lot of the players on the field. Kian coming off to a standing ovation. Derrickson McDonald. A number of the players have really put in a very hard shift. However, the shift is not over, and the ball partially cleared there. However, again, Cadell David, another standout performer for his team in a position there to really keep the ball out. And the Boys are able to escape with the ball there after a bit of pressure from the police team. Kern Tusa unable to keep possession of the first touch. Touch given away from him. A good job of keeping the ball in play. And the police have some time on the ball. Not a very rare instance. Again, St. Rose doing a good job on the combination on the wing there. The police are able to get forward, easily getting around Henry. Laying the ball off. The man is able to turn. Laying off to St. Rose. St. Rose with the shots. And it goes into the goal. And we have a goal there from the police. Officer Constable St. Rose playing the ball neatly into the bottom corner. And we have a goal here. Yes, and the police are now 2-1 down. Definitely a goal that has come in the dying embers of the game. 5 minutes to go. And they have finally got themselves on the board here. And will the Derby Boys be able to keep themselves in the game? Tusa with the ball there. Police really have applied a lot of pressure throughout the game, and they really do deserve a goal. I think it must be said that they have applied a lot of pressure onto the Derby Boys, and Derby Boys, whilst resisting, foul given there, and the quick free kick taken, but Colonel David is in a good position. Juwan David, sorry, in a good position, trying to find Colonel David. Jeremiah Henry with the pass, poor pass there from Henry, and the ball in behind there, and the police are breaking away. He gets away, he takes it out, and it's blocked. It's blocked. A beautiful block made there in the end by Bonnie. Bonnie coming all the way from the other side and blocking away that shot. Shot would have definitely been on target, definitely been a threat to the Derby Boys goal, but Bonnie was well aware, well alert, and did a very good job of getting that away. Colonel David, they're coming back to support Henry to play that ball out. The game definitely sparked into life in the past few moments here. Ball headed away there. To say a bit too casual. And the throw in goes to the Police Sports Club. Long throw taken there. Almost got to his man, but the clearance was partially made there. Back to the midfield. St. Rose, the goal scorer for the Police. Laying that one off nice and easy. And the Police are able to build up for the back again. Police really moving the ball well in the past few moments. Getting the ball back to front. Getting across the field. And they double team there on the far side. But he takes on his man. And the tackle goes in there from the far side. Derby Boys really not giving away the game here. In the latter stages, the Police seem to be trying to take it away from them. And the hard work is repaid there with a throw-in for the Derby Boys. Bonnie, the man who came in with that goal-saving challenge just a few minutes ago and keeping his team in the game. Bonnie, definitely another shot for man of the match. Had a very good game here. Seemed to break down a bit, but has come back to life when his team has needed him in the latter stages. Newton can keep a hold of that ball and it's bouncing in the midfield. And cleared again. Derby Boys now the ball with Toussaint. Toussaint taking his time, laying it off to his teammate. The ball played back and trying to find Ace. And again, Derby Boys putting themselves under a lot of unnecessary pressure. They are the team that are up, yet they keep giving the ball away unnecessarily. And the Police are beginning to gain some momentum here in the later stages. And the tackle comes through there, very firm and strong. And the corner kick, the signal there. The Police have gotten quite a number of set pieces in the past few moments. They haven't really been able to take full advantage of them. However, they do have another opportunity here. Just The rest of the 89th minute and the 90th minute to go. Just about a minute and a half of regular play to go here at the Stock Farm Technical Complex. There seems to be an issue in the goal. The goal referee just stopping the play, and the medic definitely on the field. Yes, the goalkeeper seems to be in need of some assistance. Oh boy, adding to the pressure. Will all this time be added to additional time? How much time will there be at the end of the game? We do not know. Let's see how this game plays out. And the goalkeeper is set and we're ready to go. Just about a minute lost to that stoppage there. The ball comes in and the Derby boys tackle themselves. However, Tusa is on the ball and he's able to push it forward. And what will the man do here? Will he go to goal or will he go to the corner? He seems to be going to goal, but the touch takes it into the defender and he actually wasn't able to do much of anything. But he does a good job of keeping the ball in the corner. And then he actually goes to the ball and throws it away. Definitely seems to be a delay in the restart to play. And the referee definitely seems to not be having it. And he gives, and the player earns himself a very useless yellow card there. Delay in the restart of play. Referee taking his time to make sure all the details are set. And we are into additional time. How much time will there be? Definitely could be a good shot for 3 to 4 minutes. The Derby boys have possession here. The ball laid off to Henry. Henry finds the man in the middle. However, the ball is cleared. And the police now with Jarvis. Jarvis plays the ball out when he's under no pressure. Oh, what a game he has had. Definitely a game to forget for him. He has really had some opportunities, but never really been able to make anything happen for him. And only 1 minute of added time, and that's it for us here at the Stock Farm Technical Complex. And the game has ended 2 goals to 1. And we will see you the next time. Aiden Durant, man of the match, definitely well deserved. Had the key action in the game, getting the lead for Derby Boys, and eventually giving them the platform to win the game through that own goal. And from myself, Jordan Luke, from our partner Stream Genius, have a good evening, everyone. We'll see you next.